All right, Mr. Sotko here, and welcome back to another StarCraft 2 replay cast. Today it is a 1 vs 1 on Alrena between our blue Terran player, Marine Lord, and down at the bottom we have our red Zerg player, Liquid TLO. And as usual, we're going to speed this on up to the 2-minute mark when all the good stuff starts to happen, as the first 2 minutes of the game, pretty much the same thing, just about, a little bit of scouting going on, that sort of thing. Overlord has scouted the Terran base right off the bat, and Command Center coming up really early here. We have a reactor, and now bringing out some Reapers to the Zerg base. And pretty high level replay we got going on. Grandmaster, of course, Liquid TLO, and a Marine Lord as well. And I just casted a Liquid TLO game, but I found another Liquid TLO game, so why not? And now the Reaper here are going to try and stutter step and kill some of these Zerglings. And blast one of those Zerglings there with that KD-8 charge. Or one of the drones, rather, threw it for a loop. And now Reaper going to be healing up and going to try and go for something else. It doesn't look like any losses so far. 50 total loss for the Zerg, so only 2 units, really. And I believe those were Zerglings, so not a big loss at all. No drones have been lost that I can see here. And now in the production tab, getting that metabolic boost for those Zerglings. And with the factory is almost up, probably going to switch the factory there with the barracks. And once those 2 Marines are on out of there, a bunker going down right in front of the command center. And now these Zerglings look like they are moving out. I'll try and get some scouting in and see what's going on. And these Marines are ready to go inside that bunker as soon as it's ready. Or maybe not. Maybe they just don't feel like it right now. And not going to replace the factory there with the reactor. Instead, just going to go for tanks right off the bat and a starport. So we have a 1-1-1 build going on. The 1 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport. And putting down some supply depots here. Going to try and block this off a little bit. And we have some Zerglings moving all the way around the map. Trying to look for any proxy play, anything sneaky. And nothing going on just yet, though. We do have this Overlord that is just right here. Now it's going to move right into the base, and it's going to get a quick peek at what is going on here. We have a Liberator on the way, and another tank, and multiple Marines just pumping out here. Siege tank's going to set up behind the bunker wall. Marines have spotted the Overlord. The Saboteur has been handled there. And now just going to have to rebuild himself a new Overlord to replace that. We've got some Ravagers coming for the Zerg player. So quite a bit of Ravagers and Roaches as well in that production. And resources so far pretty even. Now it looks like the Terran is pretty much on the losing end. As if you're anywhere near these Zerg losses, you're pretty much on the losing end. But that's okay. And now Ravager moving on up here. And Ravager's going to try and move right up and hit, hits these. Looks like a supply depot there was destroyed. So decent hit there, but didn't really amount to much. And now Ravager's going to be moving in again, but getting blasted there by these siege tanks, so they really can't get in range. And I'm going to cancel that bunker there. Decides maybe he doesn't need that bunker after all. And now we have some Roaches moving on up here. And now Medivacs coming on now. Perhaps a drop play, or perhaps just using it just simply to heal up. We will have to see. 4 Ravagers being created here. So really going hard on these Ravagers. But unfortunately, the Terran base is pretty well secured right now. Could use a slight forward observer for these siege tanks, but so far so good. And these Ravagers simply don't have the range really to do too much damage here without getting hit by the siege tanks. So he's really got to do something else here. It's going to need something to hit that wall of Terran and then use the Ravagers, because if the Ravagers go up by themselves, he's just gonna lose Ravagers, and that's not good. Medevac here dropped some Marines and almost lost that Medevac as well, and looks like he didn't do too much damage. 706 now to 375 in terms of losses. So lost a little bit more there, but not very effective. Hasn't lost too many drones, and drones are really what you want to go for. Another expansion coming up for TLO here, just Maynarding all of these drones on over, and just 3 left there for saturation. Now multiple medevacs loading up and going to be moving out here along with that Liberator. And the Overlord there is going to spot all this rather. And Queen's blasting away, but Liberator is just going to be taking some damage there. And now Siege Tank sieging up. Marines here are going to start taking out anything in their path. We have a Spore Crawler walking up, but it is in the wrong place at the wrong time. Another Spore Crawler coming down, going to get taken out by the Marines there. Ravagers coming and going to drop all over the place. Got a few there, and picking up that Siege Tank in siege mode. And going to drop it off on the other side there. I'd like to see this Siege Tank look right here. Could do a little bit of damage if anything gets close there, but it's kind of far, and all these Overlords are definitely seeing what is going on. Could use that Liberator to take out some of these Overlords there. Force TLO to make some more. And now over here we have a bunch of Ravagers moving on in, and here comes all the bile landing on all over those siege tanks. Loses a couple siege tanks there, and another siege tank very low, gonna lose that siege tank, and Ravagers pushing in again. And Roaches and the Ravagers gotta back out here. Too many Marines, and these siege tanks are just pouring in. Liberator in ground mode now, blasting away, lasering up those Roaches pretty good. Finished them all off there. And now a new attack has got to be underway from TLO, as the Terran player now has a big advantage, 34 to 5,200 in terms of losses. And bringing up some more Roaches and more Ravagers, and just using these Ravagers, and they're not really paying off all that much for TLO right now. So we'll see if he can start using them a little bit better. We have some Marines just stranded out here. They need picked up. Medevac now dropping off here, and lands almost hit all those Marines there. That would have been a very excellent bile drop, but they just got inside of the Medevac just as it landed. And even more Ravagers now coming up, going to try and defend this hatchery, but there are some Marines right here. The Marines are in a slightly tight area though, so that Corrosive Bile, if he places it slightly back there, could have put it in a line, and when they went back would have gotten some of that. Now redropping off the Marines, gonna try again here, just harassing TLO, keeping TLOs on his toes, keeping all these units over here. And that gives Marine Lord a ton of time to just do whatever he wants, putting up all kinds of supply depots, making factories, playing Sim Terran right now, because he has all the time in the world while he's harassing over here, even more harassing going on. And looks like a little bit of losses there for the Terran. And going to drop these Marines once again. And they're really not going to be able to do too much, but he's really keeping TLO on his toes. And I think you wouldn't really need Ravagers over here to defend this. I think you could defend this with something else. Something perhaps a little bit cheaper and a little bit quicker to deal with those Marines. Even just a few good old Zerglings, a good pile of them. As soon as he drops, just go after him, and then as soon as he drops, go after him. But here we go. The Marines are pushing in again, and Corrosive Bile landed, but the Corrosive Bile lands way too slow, and it's very, very easy to dodge, particularly for Grandmaster players like this. So easy to dodge Corrosive Bile. I think it should come down a little bit faster, but it is very early into the expansion, so balancing will come along a little bit more, although the Ravagers have been out for quite a while, and people have been testing them for quite some time. I just think that Corrosive Bile should come down a little bit faster. But there is a problem in the sense that if it comes down a little bit faster, lower level bronze, silver type players are going to get hammered by Ravagers. They're going to be super, super good at the low level play, but then at the high level play, Grandmaster, Master, they would be a much more viable. Oh, and some bio coming down. Oh, just barely missed. That would have been kind of nice there, and would have taken out the medevac and 4 Marines. And I don't think this medevac's going to be able to make it happen. These all these queens set up in a really nice way here. Going to try and drop 1 Marine. He is totally screwed. And lots of infantry now coming out, and TLO GG's, and I think there's a slightly early GG, and I think he was just trying to use the Ravagers this game. Maybe he was just experimenting with those Ravagers, but they didn't really pay off. And as I was saying before, I just don't think they really pay off so well in the Master and Grandmaster League, because it is quite easy to dodge that corrosive bile. And so we'll have to see how they get changed over the course of patches. I personally think it should come down a little bit faster, but who knows? Usually it is dictated by the Grandmaster players anyway. But I hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I will see you guys next time.